This is the HAN Network, the leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
This is your coffee break on the HAN Network.
It's Tuesday, October 6th, and this is your coffee break. I'm Kate Czaplinski, bringing you today's latest news, including a brewing controversy over a substitute's firing in Trumbull, a sting operation catching child predators, Shelton home invasion arrests, and much more. Rob Adams will also have the latest in high school sports, and Donald Ang will give us a look back on this day in history. But first, on to your headlines today. 10 men ranging in age from 19 to 64 who police said came to a house in Fairfield expecting to have sex with a minor were arrested in an undercover operation that started last Thursday and ran through the weekend. The Fairfield Citizen reports that the men all allegedly were in computer contact with someone they believed was either a 13-year-old boy or a 12-year-old girl via the internet and text messages. They were to be arraigned Monday at State Superior Court in Bridgeport. According to Police Chief Gary McNamara, our community is safer today as a result of this operation. The police sting was run parallel to one being conducted by former NBC newsman Chris Hansen for a future program titled Hansen vs. Predator that he is preparing currently. While 3 of the men came from out of state, the rest were from the region, including one man from Fairfield. The sting operation was based at a Fairfield home offered to Hansen by a friend. While his production company was inside the house, police officers were monitoring a live stream of the activity from the home's garage, as well as back at department headquarters. There were also officers stationed throughout the neighborhood, police said. They didn't get the address until the very last minute, according to police detective Fred Hine. He said in every case, officers were able to identify each man's vehicle when they arrived in town, and they were constantly under surveillance. McNamara said Hansen could have run the undercover sting without the police department's involvement, but that would have meant the alleged predators would not have faced criminal arrest as they left the house. According to police, the men who were arrested all engaged in sexually explicit language with someone they thought was a child, and in some cases either sent or requested nude photos. According to police, the suspects were cooperative with police, and they didn't offer up any explanations to police, although many had a conversation with Hansen regarding why they were there. According to Detective Hine, I can't say they were surprised to see us. Hansen was non-committal in his conversation with the men as to whether police would be involved. When they walked out, they were surprised at the situation they had put themselves in. The local men charged include 59-year-old Charles Lawrence of Fairfield, 28-year-old Jesse Velez of Bridgeport, 40-year-old John Dupuis of Norwalk, 27-year-old Stephen Buchanan of Stratford, and 31-year-old David Torillo of Shelton. In other news this morning, 4 people were charged in connection with a Shelton home invasion in September. On October 2nd, Shelton police arrested North Haven residents 19-year-old Sean Craig, 18-year-old Joseph Cahill, as well as 22-year-old Robert Torelli of Branford. A 17-year-old female was also arrested previously, police said. The arrest stems from an incident that happened in the early morning hours of September 8th. A 52-year-old victim in the case called the Shelton police, stating that he was beaten in the driveway of his Shelton home by 3 men. Police responded and found the victim bleeding profusely from the head. He was later transported to the hospital where he was treated for a serious head wound due to the injury. Craig and Cahill were charged with first-degree criminal attempt of robbery and first-degree criminal attempt of home invasion, as well as assault. Craig was additionally charged with carrying a dangerous weapon. Torelli was charged with criminal attempt to commit first-degree robbery, home invasion, and conspiracy to commit first-degree assault. The juvenile previously arrested in connection with the case and charged faces robbery charges, home invasion, and conspiracy to commit assault. Shelton detectives allege that the female juvenile, Craig, Cahill, and Torelli, along with another male juvenile, all conspired to rob and assault the victim. Detectives learned that the female juvenile called the victim and had him pick her up in a plan to set him up. The female juvenile had the victim drive her to his Shelton home where she planned to get him intoxicated so he would be easier to rob, police said. Police said after the victim picked up the female, her 4 accomplices all followed them back to the house in Shelton. A short time later, the female texted her accomplices, informing them that the victim was intoxicated and she would leave the door open. When 3 of the men approached the victim's door, he happened to walk outside. At that point, he was assaulted by all 3 and was struck in the head by a firearm. During the assault, a neighbor came outside and the 3 men fled the scene. Additional arrests are expected in this case, police said. Well, a Facebook post considered racist by some, a fired substitute teacher, and a student body aggravated enough to make a stand. That's what members of the public can expect to hear at Tuesday night's Trumbull Board of Education meeting when officials review the case of former Trumbull High substitute teacher Joe Rogers. Trumbull High senior Stephen Stanton, who is the board's student representative, has organized a Facebook group titled Stand with Mr. Rogers that has almost 2,000 supporting members who would like to see the Trumbull resident and substitute teacher hired back. Like he does at every meeting, Stanton plans to speak to the board, and this time around he hopes to get its decision on Rogers repealed. The high school students called Rogers' recent firing a huge loss for the Trumbull public school system. In a post written on the Facebook group Sunday night, he addressed those who additionally would like to speak at Tuesday's meeting, which will be held tonight at 6254 Main Street. Rogers, who is 69 years old, told followers on Facebook last month that he was let go without explanation. He said he believes, however, it was because he asked a student whose mother is a Trumbull Town Council Republican, Cindy Penkoff, not to circulate a post that reportedly called President Barack Obama, quote, a sick tyrant and, quote, a traitor. According to the teacher, I'll be upfront with you, we do not have all the facts, and that's much of the reason that the students have decided to pursue this issue. The issue has sparked enough student frustration that seniors at Trumbull High are passing around a petition at school, according to a member of the Facebook group. Trumbull High alumni are also speaking out against the board's decision to let go of Rogers, who was taught for 8 years at the high school. Rogers told the Connecticut Post that he worked consistently for the Trumbull School District for 12 years, and for 3 years volunteered as a teacher in the district's Chinese enrichment program since his retirement as an interpreter for the United Nations. For updates on that meeting tonight, go to TrumbullTimes.com. In other Trumbull news, the town has announced a traffic alert on Main Street near St. Teresa's Church between the hours of 9 today and midnight tonight. This is for October 6th for the Pilgrimage of Mercy tour that features the body of St. Maria Goretti. During this time, there may be significant traffic backups on Main Street and traffic restrictions in the area. The town is asking people to consider this in their travel plans. Part of the Pilgrimage of Mercy tour, the major relic will travel around the country from September to early November. It is the first time that the body has traveled to America and only the second that it has left Italy. According to the Associated Press, New Britain officials say an 11-year-old boy has died and several others are homeless after a fire swept through a multi-family home. Mayor Aaron Stewart confirmed that a boy was killed in the blaze, which was reported shortly before 1:30 a.m. Tuesday at the 3-family home on East Street. The child's name has not yet been released. A city firefighter was treated for a minor injury. No other injuries were reported. Resident Kenneth Anderson says the fire forced him to jump from a second-story window. He says the lights went out, there was a lot of smoke, and it became very hot. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. Well, it's about time to throw it over to Rob Adams for a look at today's weather. Rob, it seems beautiful out there right now.
Sunny skies for sure, Kate, with a high near 69. A calm wind becoming north around 6 in the afternoon. Partly cloudy, low of 49 for tonight with a calm wind. To Wednesday we go. I like this. Mostly sunny, a high near 71. Not that my opinion necessarily was important in that spot, but you get the idea. A calm wind becoming northwest 5 to 9 in the morning. Mostly clear with a low around 46 for tomorrow night. Sunny and 64 for Thursday. We look to Friday, showers likely mainly in the afternoon. When we will be at Danbury, it'll be a cloudy day otherwise with a high near 67. The chance of rain is 60%, and that will drop to 40% Friday night. So we do have this chance of rain that will stick with us throughout Friday, low 48. Saturday, 60 with sunny skies. Sunday, sunny and 63 as we move through the weekend. And it's a big weekend. In sports, I'm hinting that to you. That is what we call a tease in the trade. 61 in Shelton, 61 in Ridgefield, 64 in Darien. Kate?
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, Rob is going to tell us more about what's coming up this week in high school sports. And Donald Eng will give us a look back on this day in history. We also have a lot more news coming up after this.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The dock shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
And we're back with this Tuesday edition of Your Coffee Break. I'm Kate Czaplinski, throwing it over to Donald Eng now for a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, an exciting day. A small man made a big splash, politically speaking. But first, we go to 1847 to the everlasting horror of high school English students, Jane Eyre, first published in London. In its internalization of the action, the focus is the gradual unfolding of Jane's moral and spiritual sensibility. The book revolutionized the art of fiction. 1880, a dark day for Josh Fisher. The National League kicks the Cincinnati Reds out of the league for selling beer. 1889, American inventor Thomas Edison shows the first true motion picture. Earlier photographers had shot frames of still photos. Edison's kinetoscope, the first to use a continual strip of film. 1945, another sports highlight. Tavern owner Billy Cyanis and his pet goat are ejected from Wrigley Field during Game 4 of the 1945 World Series. He had bought a ticket for the goat, the mascot of his Chicago bar, and paraded around with the goat wearing a sign that read, "We got Detroit's goat." As curses go, that's a pretty lame one, I think. A publicity stunt gone wrong. 1973, Egypt and Syria attack Israel in an attempt to win back territory that had been lost in the Third Arab-Israel War. Support for Israel by the U.S. and Great Britain led to a devastating oil embargo. The war actually lasted about 2 weeks. And finally, 1992, the man who was all ears spoke directly to the country.
In terms of where we are, then we'll go to the solution. We're $4.1 trillion in debt. That's a staggering burden to pass to our children. It's unconscionable. Just this year, we ran up $341 billion in new debt. And as we discussed the other night, that's our legislators and our president trying to buy our vote this year with what used to be our money. We're not that dumb.
That, of course, is Texas billionaire H. Ross Perot, an independent candidate for president. This is on this date in 1992. He ran his first paid political infomercial. Though he would fail to win any states, his 19% showing was the best ever for a non-party affiliated candidate, and he had the best campaign theme song of all time. That would be, you guys looking at me weird, Miss Patsy Cline and Crazy, the theme song of H. Ross Perot's presidential bid. That's your look back in history, and I'm Donald Ng.
Thanks, Don. Nice job today. All right, going to throw it over to Rob Adams now for the latest on high school sports. Rob.
All right, Kate. We were on the road yesterday. We had some field hockey for you. But first, let's go through some volleyball highlights. We start things with New Canaan knocking off West Hill 3-1. Keep New Canaan and West Hill in the back of your mind. We will come back around to them. Silvana Cordona had 18 kills and 14 digs for West Hill, while Liz Grosso had 7 kills and 8 service points. The games went 25-27, 25-19, 25-19, and 25-23. New Canaan wins 3-1. Stanford over Trinity Catholic 3-1. For the Black Knights, they were led by Andrea O'Connor with 12 kills, while Lisa Balez had 13 kills and 17 digs. Jayla Wilson had 33 assists. Ridgefield shut out Ward 33-0. Scores of 25-20, 25-17, and 25-18. Elizabeth Middlebrook had 16 kills, 4 digs, and 5 service points. Allie Livingston had an average day of 35 assists, 3 kills, and 5 service points. Darien over Norwalk 3-0. Scores of 25-10, 25-10, and 25-4. Staying in volleyball, Trumbull over Danbury 3-0. Mia Hamford had 9 kills, 6 digs, and 2 blocks, as well as 19 service points. Ludlow over Wilton 3-0. Kylie McCaffrey for Ludlow with 7 aces and 12 service points. To girls soccer we go. Trumbull over Norwalk, 1-0. Wilton beat Danbury 1-0 as Paisley Egan had the goal. She was assisted by Rebecca Hirsch. That came in the 11th minute. Ridgefield shut out New Canaan 4-0. That was a game that A.J. Simonowski and I were standing outside of Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow and hearing the beginning of. We heard Ridgefield in their all-pink jerseys get the first goal of the afternoon. Staples doubled up Ludlow 4-2. Trinity Catholic 5, Central 1. West Hill shut out Stanford 5-0. Ward over Greenwich, 3-1 in back of 2 goals by Alexi Montani. To field hockey we go. Trumbull over West Hill 3-2 and Darien over Ridgefield 3-0. Goals for Marissa Baker. She scored twice, and Courtney Lowe. Now, we saw it differently yesterday, but we found out the official scoring here on the HAN network was Baker the first goal at 3:37 of the second half. Lowe scoring at 13:29. That really iced the game, and then Baker put it away for good with just 7 seconds to play. And our thanks to Tim Murphy for getting us the official scoring after we went off the air. So that was what you saw yesterday here on the HAN network, and that is on demand now. Yes, we call it HAN on demand. Boys soccer, Ridgefield over New Canaan 3-2. Noah Sassy had 2 goals for Ridgefield, and Matteo Avellini had a goal for the Tigers. And from football, I told you to keep New Canaan and West Hill in your mind. There was a football game yesterday, and it was New Canaan over West Hill 55-12. 49-0, in fact, at the half. As for the schedule today, well, you've got boys soccer. Greenwich and Stanford at 4. Wait, that's our game today on the HAN network. We'll have it for you right here, pregame show just before 4 o'clock. West Hill and St. Joe's, Norwalk at Staples, Wilton at Darien, Ludlow home for Trinity Catholic. It's Central at Ridgefield, Danbury at McMahon, and Ward is at New Canaan. From girls soccer, you've got Ridgefield at Central. Field hockey is Ludlow at New Canaan, Stanford at Wilton, Ward home for St. Joe's, and Danbury at Norwalk. From cross country, Norwalk, St. Joe, Stanford, they are all at Staples. Ward, Central, and McMahon are at Wilton. Ridgefield is hosting West Hill, Ludlow, and Trumbull. Danbury, Darien, New Canaan, and Trinity Catholic are at Greenwich. All of those 4 o'clock starts. Finally, from girls swimming and diving, Danbury is at Joel Barlow, and Oxford at 4, and East Lyme at Staples at 4, and go check FCAC.net to figure out who is the HAN Network FCAC potential Athletes of the Week. The nominees are up, so go check it out and get out the vote. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Kate, back over to you.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Getting back to some of today's news. Although New Canaan has a very low crime rate, crimes such as domestic violence have remained constant over many years. That, according to Police Chief Leon Krolikowski. He said if you live in New Canaan and you are the victim of violence, it is highly probable that the perpetrator is someone you love. Domestic violence is both a national and an intimately local problem that knows no boundaries, the chief said. In a piece to the New Canaan Advertiser, the chief said that most cases of domestic violence are never reported to police. He quoted former Attorney General Janet Reno, who said, "Too many American women live in fear of the very people upon whom they depend for love and affection. Instead of providing refuge, the walls of many homes serve as prison bars." Thus far in 2015, the New Canaan Police Department has investigated 34 family disputes. Not all of these incidents are classified as domestic violence, yet it is likely that the prevalence of domestic violence in New Canaan is much greater than what is reported due to chronic underreporting by victims. According to the chief, domestic violence can happen to anyone in any community, regardless of age, economic status, race, religion, gender, nationality, or educational background. He's calling for everyone to work together on both preventing domestic violence and getting help for those in the community that are victims. Since October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, it's important to bring more awareness about what domestic violence is and how it can be stopped. Krolikowski says they work hard to protect the victims and help victims and children leave safely. They also can refer victims to domestic violence services. That entire piece by the chief can be found at ncadvertiser.com. Connecticut has slipped 5 spots to the 20th place this week in terms of the highest gas prices in the nation. AAA's October 5th survey of prices in Connecticut also found self-serve regular averaging $2.38 a gallon, which remained unchanged from last week. Compared to last month, however, average prices have dropped 2 cents, and compared to last year, prices have slid $1.22. AAA's weekly survey of prices in the Nutmeg State's 4 regional areas are as follows. In Greater Bridgeport, Stamford, the average is $2.47. In New Haven, Meriden, it's $2.37. Greater Hartford came in at $2.34, and New London and Norwich at $2.35. On the national level, today's average price also remained unchanged at $2.29 compared to last week, but prices are 32 cents lower than compared to last month and $1.01 lower compared to last year. Dropping crude oil prices and a switch over to the less expensive winter blends have prompted lower prices. Experts see a continuing drop in prices in October, but at a much slower pace because of refinery maintenance. New Jersey is now the state with the lowest average gas price at just $1.96, followed by South Carolina with $1.96, Mississippi with $1.98, and Alabama at $1.99. California now leads the pack with the highest prices in the nation at $2.94, followed closely by Alaska, Nevada, and Hawaii. Well, I'm going to throw it back over to Rob Adams for another look at today's weather. Rob?
Kate, thank you. We've got a clear day, mostly clear, very pleasant, very sunny, a high near 69. The calm wind becoming north around 6 in the afternoon. Partly cloudy, a low of 49 for tonight, mostly sunny, high 71 for your Wednesday. Wednesday night, mostly clear, low 46. Thursday, sunny and a high of 64 with a light wind coming from the north, mostly clear and a low of 49 for Thursday night. Showers likely mainly afternoon for Friday and mostly cloudy with a high near 67. To Friday night, a chance of showers, mostly cloudy, low of 48. I mentioned Saturday and why sports is important. Maybe I'll come back around to that. Partly sunny, a high near 60 for Saturday, and Sunday, mostly sunny and a high near 63. Shelton has 61, Ridgefield has 61, Darien has 64. And why does Saturday matter so much? I don't know. I'm glancing at AJ Simonowski looking for an indication. What do you think? Time to mention it? He's thinking. No, he's not convinced. That is what we call a further tease in the business. AJ, you vicious person. Kate, he won't let me talk about it yet. Back over to you.
All right, we'll just have to wait on that. Well, we're going to take another break. We have a lot more news coming up right after this.
Kite Rockefeller Estate is Westchester County's top cultural attraction and is now open for the season. Don't miss out. Go online to hudsonvalley.org to plan your visit. Take a drive out to beautiful Sleepy Hollow, New York, and enjoy Kite stunning architecture, breathtaking gardens, expansive art galleries, and commanding Hudson River views. From world-class art by Picasso and Warhol to expertly tended gardens, there's something for everyone. Kite Rockefeller Estate, a National Trust for Historic Preservation landmark. Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
Have no fear. HAN Network's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your 3-minute scary movie today for a chance to win a DJI Phantom 3 drone, sponsored by Milford Photo. The only thing to fear is missing the deadline.
We're back with this Tuesday, October 6th edition of your Coffee Break, getting back to some more news today. Well, when a garage at 16 Whitney Avenue in New Canaan was being cleaned out recently, 2 World War II grenades were found, 1 German and 1 of undetermined origin. New Canaan police were called, and 1 grenade was found to be hollowed out and not dangerous. However, the second grenade status could not be determined, so Stamford police were called to send their bomb squad. They took both grenades, and one was found to be live and was scheduled to be destroyed. In Milford, a man who allegedly rented a car from a local business 9 years ago and never returned it was arrested on a warrant October 4th. Police said 53-year-old Michael Whalen of Boston Post Road rented a vehicle from a Bridgeport Avenue business in October of 2006 and never returned it. He's charged with larceny and has been released from police custody on his promise to appear in court October 27th. Well, the Trumbull community is still feeling the grief from the loss of Trumbull High School sophomore Abby Anderson, who took her own life last June after battling clinical depression. A year later, family and friends will gather once again at Sherwood Island State Park in Westport for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention's Out of Darkness Walk to honor the memory of the 15-year-old cheerleader who was regarded as bright, engaging, and always positive by everyone that knew her. According to family friend Kathy Massey, she knew how to laugh and how to live. The community understands a lot more about teen depression than it did a year ago, Massey said, and that's positive that this has come out of this tragedy, that it's brought out the awareness amongst parents and amongst our children about what it's like to struggle with mental illness and clinical depression. At last year's walk, where Team Abby's 300-plus participants helped raise more than $42,000 to help support suicide research, education, and advocacy, there were tears as well as laughter, as well as a sense of healing that was much needed after a tumultuous, emotional summer. There's a lot more on that story about Team Abby at TrumbullTimes.com. Well, Shelton residents, the Gasparino family, celebrated the pure joys of summer with the Fresh Air Fund and were among the winners of the Fresh Air Fund's 2015 photo contest. All winners were selected from the hundreds of pictures sent in by volunteers, host families across the Northeast, reflecting memorable experiences they shared with their New York City visitors this past summer. The Gasparinos' photo was determined the winner in the animals category and features Fresh Air visitor 6-year-old Isaiah enjoying the petting zoo in Connecticut. The Fresh Air Fund, an independent not-for-profit agency, has provided free summer experiences to more than 1.8 million New York City children from low-income communities since 1877. For more information on hosting a Fresh Air Child next summer, you can contact Martha Mincer at 203-216-4152 or visit the Fresh Air Fund at freshair.org. And finally, there's still time to celebrate restaurants in the Valley this week. The Greater Valley Chamber of Commerce's annual Greater Valley Restaurant Week runs through this Saturday, October 10th. New restaurants and old favorites will cater to many palates. Contemporary cuisines, traditional fare with a twist, and eclectic mix of international and ethnic dishes round out the menu for this week. The restaurants participating can be found at sheltonherald.com. It's now time to throw it to Rob for one final look at today's weather. Rob?
And a beautiful day outside, Kate. Mostly sunny, 69. Calm wind becoming north around 6 in the afternoon. Partly cloudy, low 49 for tonight. Mostly sunny and 71 for Wednesday. Mostly clear, a low around 46 for Wednesday night. Sunny and 64 for Thursday. Showers possible as we move to Friday, high 67, and partly sunny, a high near 60 as we get into the weekend. Shelton has 62, Ridgefield has 62, and Darien has improved to 65 degrees, Kate.
All right, thanks, Rob. Well, we want to say that coming up at 12:30 today is The Drive with Denise. She'll be talking about getting off the hamster wheel of chronic dieting with a certified health coach. That and a lot more coming up on the HAN Network today. Have a great Tuesday.
This is the HAN